Hello, my name is Jeff McDonald and welcome to my workshop. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some resin that will be for the next bulb, and preparing for the next bulb. It's going to be the base, and pour some resin. It's going to be some segments. So what I'm going to use is this form. It's a little silicone form, works really well. That'll be the base. And with that, let's get started. All right, the mold I showed you takes 20 ounces of resin, and so we're going to use this cobalt blue and this pearl white, and so it's a 20. I'm going to do an even split, so it's going to be 10 ounces of each. And I start with 5 ounces, okay, because I'm going to put 5 ounces. Let me zero that out. All right, 0. I'm going to put 5 ounces of part A in each one. There's 5 in that one. Alumilite, I like working with it because it's very simple, very clear, a little expensive, but you get what you pay for and everything, right? I went a little over. 515. I got to put a little bit more in this one. There we go. So there's that. Got it all over me. All right, I'm going to put my gloves on. Shoot, I'm already screwing up. You know me, I can't do anything without making mistakes. All right. Have to just start over, but hey, that's real. Right there is real. Okay, that's the A. Now what I do is I take, before I put the hardener in, the other part, I go ahead and put the resin in this, mix it up good, and then I'll put in part B. Another thing I want to say, I see that sticks, the round is on both ends. I cut one end off. That way I can really get around that and clean it up. I don't know if I'm the only one that does that or not, but all right, let's do this white. Blue. What I like about this particular type of Alumilite urethane resin is it sets up really quick. I could actually be using the products in about 2 hours. I have 12 minutes from the time I start the hardener, and I'll set a timer for myself. And but then about 2 hours in the pressure pot, it's ready to go to work. The other thing is, and it has to go in the pressure pot. I've tried it without that. No way. No way. You got to put it in the pressure pot. The air bubbles are just tremendous, and that helps remove, or actually shrinks all the air bubbles. All right, let me stir this up. Close these up. Now, I got my door open and got a good breeze going, so I'm not worried about a respirator. Plus, this doesn't hurt me too much. I've never been affected by the smell of this stuff. Some people are sensitive to it. I'm not. I'm not sensitive to it. Let's see. Now, let me get my phone. Set my timer. Oop. All right. Now, I don't know if you can hear the hissing now, boys. I got a heat gun, shooting down onto the pressure pot and the mold. I got the mold already in the pressure pot. I like to do that because sometimes I'm carrying that mold and I just make a mess. So I just pour it while it's in there. Plus I've got it in a location on my floor that's very level. So that's another part you got to make sure you got a level floor. All right, time to put in the hardener, part B. Now I got to put in 515, right? So that's going to be 1055 on here.
You probably caught that. My math was completely off. I meant to say it needed to be 10.3, not 10.85. I don't know where I came up with 85. But anyway, I did do it 10.3, so I had the right mix. So I just wanted to make sure you guys do that. I caught that too. So
Okay. Alrighty. Start this timer. Now since I've already mixed the color in, it's not a panic to get it all mixed up, but I do need a good mix with it. Now the only negative side to doing it this way is you don't know that it's completely clear, because when you normally do resin, you want to mix it up so it's clear and then add the color, because then you know it's mixed good. So what I do is I just mix the heck out of it. And I've never had a problem doing it this way, but the proper way to do it is to add the hardener in, stir it till it's clear. That way you know it's stirred up good, and then add the color in. Okay, so you can do it my way if you want, but just be warned, you got to stir it a lot. Okay. What I'm going to do is come back when it's time to put it in the mold. Alright, let me check it. What I want is a temperature of 105 on this resin. I'm at 85, so I got ways to go. So I'll keep checking it until I get to 105 degrees. What that does is it prevents, let me back up a minute. My understanding, and it does work, is if you just mix them now, they'll both blend and you'll have a white-blue mix just of one color. But by waiting until it gets to 105, 106 degrees, the two colors are not going to mix up into one. Instead, we're going to mix it into swirls, and then it'll have a pattern to it. So that's why we want to do it this way. All right, we are about at 105, and I'm getting ready to start putting it in. Oh yeah, we're there. And you can see how the two colors are staying separate. So now I can do the swirl thing, you know. Had I not waited for the heat, this wouldn't have happened. Okay, now I gotta get moving. Sorry if I'm in the way, but I gotta kind of hurry up and get this going. Alrighty, still a little warm, but it's ready. Take it over here to the table. Alright, let's see how we get this. There we go. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour, where did the piece go? What did I do with it? Oh, I left it outside. I'll be right back. All right, so this is going to be the base of the bowl. And then what I got to do is fill this up and put it in the pressure pot. I'm going to make it the same way so it mimics this look. And this takes 24 ounces. And then when I'm done, so I'm not going to show you all that, but I just wanted to show you what I'm doing. You can kind of understand it by explaining it. But it becomes, when I take it all out, I run it through the drum sander, and then I make segments out of this stuff. Okay? So that becomes the segments in the bowl. And when I put it in the bowl, I use 2-part epoxy to glue this part in. I don't use wood glue, so wood glue doesn't work as well. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do next.
What I'm doing now is cutting up the wood into strips. It's going to be maple and cherry. Then what we'll do with those strips is we'll cut the segments. You'll see that later.
All right, it's time to get this out. Tell you, I wish I had a couple of these. If they weren't so expensive, I would have. Maybe a little farm of them. So I have to do one thing at a time. All right, okay, there we go. There's that. There we go. All right, so what I'm building is, I'm gonna need a lot more of a different color. So there's that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start cutting these segments, and each ring is of course a different size, and the bigger the segment, the bigger the ring, right? So I've got it marked out. I don't know if you can see that or not. And each little mark is going to determine that's the cut. So I just put it up like that, come down, Set it up. And that is the check. That's it. That's going to be the first cut. I need to raise this up. There we go. All right, I'm going to start cutting some rings. Or segments, I'm sorry. Start cutting some segments. I got a lot of them to do because I'm cutting enough for 4 bowls. I'm going to make 4 different. Each bowl is going to have a different color bottom and segment, resin segments within it. You'll see when the time comes. Trying to help. But anyway. Alrighty, so I have all of the resin pieces poured, and now they're ready to go through the drum sander. These are the bases, and of course these are going to be cut on the table saw to make strips for the segmented pieces. So with that, let me get started on the drum sander. Get it dialed in here. All right, so what I need to do is cut these into strips. All right, for those who have never been here before, this is how I'm going to explain things. If you've seen this before, if you want to skip ahead, please be my guest. But what I'm doing is I'm setting this up this way. This is 36 segments, 18 on each side. I just do it 2 rows because there's 36 is too many to put in 1 row. And then I glue this way, and then I put it over here, okay, on the other side. I'm using Titebond 3 glue. It's a waterproof glue, but it also takes a while before it sets up. I need time to work with this, you know, so that works really well. And to get started, all I do is I kind of put my finger on it here, so when I go to move the glue around, I don't knock everything out of whack. I'm shoving that way. This is my way. I mean, everyone's got their way of doing things. I've tried many other ways that people have done, and this way works best for me. Go. And of course, I'm only going to show this one ring being glued up. Now, the other ones are going to be in different sequence, and you'll see that in the end when we're putting the bowl together. All right, so there's that. Now, this is a big ring. This is the top ring of the bowl, and it's 13-inch diameter ring. So I got to go out here to the edge to start gluing. And I almost need to create myself one. You'll see another piece of plywood for this, but the 12-inch one seems to work. Okay. You know, I like wood turning. I like taking a chunk of wood and throwing it on a lathe and making a bowl or whatever out of it. Could be a vase. But I really enjoy segmented. A lot of people don't like it because it's tedious, and it is tedious, no doubt. But I like how it looks. I like how I can design it. I like that you don't waste a lot of wood when you're turning. Here I get right to the point of the outer part of the bowl. And I don't know. It does take a lot longer. Now this particular ones I'm making has resin in it, and all in all it's about 20 hours per bowl when you start adding things up. So 18 to 20 hours. Maybe less. I mean, when you're doing, I have to sit down and look at the paperwork, probably more like 15 because I'm doing 4 bowls. So when you're doing all that cutting, it's best to cut all of it for 4 instead of just 1, because then I don't have to set it up all the time. Everything's already set up, and I can make more. I can do more with everything already being set up, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to think, talk, and move blocks around at the same time, so I'm not doing a very good job. Here we go. I got too carried away here. Ah, crap. That's another thing I like about Titebond 3. I got time to work it. I would think I do. I don't know why this is giving me such a fit. It kind of sticks to the paper and then they don't move very well. All right, here we go. Let's see, I need more glue. All right. Well, it was a messy to do, but I've got it kind of on there. What I do is I take this and set that up there like that. Grab me a big rubber band. All right. I push this down so it kind of holds all these blocks while I'm trying to get this rubber band on, you know. There we go. All right, that went on pretty good. Then I got to go around and kind of straighten them up, right? Because they were kind of messy to begin with. So after I straighten it up, then everything kind of gets lined up well where it belongs. There we go, there we go. Now, I like using rubber bands, especially with these very large rings. Now, I could use the steel clamps, but this has so much pressure on it, it's holding it just as well as a steel, well, not maybe as well, but it's holding pretty darn well. Steel clamp would definitely be a better option, but this is, for me, it's less of a hassle to do it this way. All right, let me kind of, what I'm doing is I'm getting the rubber band in the middle. That's what I'm going around doing now. So I got everything. All right, I was going to show you this because it's a little different. I'm not using Type Bond 3 wood glue. Instead, we're using this 5-minute epoxy. Because of the resin, I need to use this. It doesn't do well with just wood glue. So all I do is put a dab on each, an equal amount at each side. And I'm just guessing. I'm getting pretty good at guessing how much. If I make this dot a little bit too big, I go back and add some to the other pile I just made. So that does look a little bigger. You want to try to get as equal as you can because that's how it works. I don't want it to be I don't want it to get I want it to get hard. I don't want it to get mushy. All right. Mix this up, obviously. This works pretty good. I haven't had any problems with it not working, doing it this way. All right, it should be about right. I said to use sandpaper. I did not sandpaper because sandpaper actually makes it smoother. I cut it on the saw and then just left it cut marks from the saw so that it'll stick good. I'm afraid if I try to sand it, any kind of sanding would make it smoother, and I didn't want it smoother. Okay. All right, so we got all the rings made. This is enough for 4 bowls, though, so I'm going to go ahead and run them through the drum sander, and then we'll be able to start actually putting bowls together. Now it's time to start building the bowl. And I did enough parts, as I think I've already mentioned. We're on day like 10 right now because I'm doing 4 bowls at a time. But what I've done is take a waste block that fits on the chuck. I used a 2-part epoxy, attached it to the base of the bowl. So this is the base of the bowl, the one we're following, the green one. or emerald, or whatever you want to call it. And so what I need to first do is take a gouge, and I got one spot here that's a little shiny. See that? They all got to get roughed up, so you got to take a little sandpaper to it. Second. That's better. Now I need to take, this is the first regular piece that goes on. Alright, so take a little 2-part epoxy, put it on this plate. This is what was left over from lunch today. I don't like to use anything new, so instead of using a new plate, always use my lunch plate to do this kind of stuff with. This is fairly a new 2-part for me to use. It works, seems to be working okay. It's a Starbond 5-minute epoxy kit. So really all I got to do is, first let me get that out of the way. It's 2-part, looks pretty even. It's not lying about the 5-minute epoxy. I only got a couple of minutes really to work with this. And all I do is get it on there. And the restable, I just use regular wood glue, Titebond 3 wood glue with it. Alright, I got that all over the bed. Of course. Darn it. Okay. I'm getting it. A little more cleanup. That normally doesn't happen because I usually make sure there's something out of there. Okay. Yep. I use that as a clamp. Clamps it down good. All right, now it's time to get this bowl turned. I know you've seen me using different colored resins, and I did 4 bowls at one time, so I may interchange some of the videos, but just so the main thing was so you could understand what I'm doing. There's different stages to get to this point. Now it's time to turn it, the fun part, right? I'm going to be wearing this helmet here. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I don't know how much you'll be able to hear me, so I won't be talking a lot. When I'm turning this, I'm going to be using a standard gouge, and then I'll be using a carbide when it gets to the resin areas. Okay, because the resin areas are, they make you have to sharpen a lot. So I just prefer switching back and forth. Okay, with that, let me get turned on. Sounds good. I can turn it up a little bit. Now, one of the main reasons why I build, what's that ticking noise? Huh. Anyway, one of the main reasons why I build these bowls on the lathe is when I'm done, it's very true, right? It's not off balance. It's not causing any problems. I'm not very good at lining them up off the lathe and then end up putting them on the lathe, and they're so far off that when I start turning them, the bowl falls apart because I run out of wood, right? So this works best for me. And I'm going to be fast forwarding most of this because if not, this bowl's going to take a couple hours to do. Not just turning it, but sanding it. With the resin, it just takes a lot of sanding. You're going up to 1200, 1400 grit sandpaper, and then then I'm going to be doing a polish sanding and all that. So it just takes a lot of time. So I'm going to be fast forwarding. I'll be cutting out a lot of the sanding. So I usually do that anyway, but I just thought I would tell you that so those who have not seen me do this before would understand. right, that's that part. That's the outer. And what we'll do is I'm going to quickly sand this, and then we're going to start working on the inside. Okay? All right, I got the bowl sanded down, an abrasive sanding compound now, and I'll take it the rest of the way with that. Now I'll do the whole bowl with it. And if you've seen me do this before, you know you've seen me use this before. I love using axe, works very well, particularly on segmented work. I like using it for this. I'll put it on both sides, and then we'll just slowly, use it as a sanding paste. Start out slow and then work my way up with the going up to maybe 1,000 RPMs. Now, my understanding with the sanding paste is you're starting out around 600, 800 grit. But as it breaks down, as you continue to sand, it breaks down and then it gets finer and finer. And so the sanding gets finer and finer, of course. And that's how it works, in my understanding. I could be wrong, but that's how I understand it. I heard someone talking about it on the internet. It made sense to me. Need to buy some more of this. I got 2 more bowls after this one, so I'm gonna have a lot of compound sanding to do. All right, there's that. Put a little one there. I'll turn it down to about 600 and just go ahead and work it all around. And this takes time. There's no rushing it. You just kind of take your time. Compound. Now I'm using the wax. I put it all over the bowl. I turned it up to about 1,000 RPMs, and I just kind of just get it hot to where it kind of melts in, you know, through friction. And it's from the same company, from the Axe company. Works really well. Highly recommend it. And it's not a commercial. I don't do commercials. But it works really, really well though. I like this collar. This is one of my favorite colors, turquoise. Actually, it's not turquoise. It's more of a emerald than turquoise. But anyway, I just keep kind of getting the wax nice and hot and getting it. And I just let it go, and it's going to cool off. All right. Next step is we're going to turn this thing around, and I'm going to remove the waste block from the bottom, clean up the bottom, sand it, and then that's it. We'll put a medallion in it, and then the job's done. All right, now time to finish the back of this thing. I'm going to remove the waste block here that's been doing all the work to hold everything on. Right. I tell you, D-Way Tools. This is another one of my free commercials I'm giving D-Way. They've got these real thin parting tools. Beautiful. Do a great job. I went all the way through there in a minute and got that all, maybe less than a minute. All right. All I gotta do now is knock it off, I think. That's close. Let's see if I can just pop this off here. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about the next hour doing this. Now, I'm going to fast forward it so you're not going to watch me for an hour, maybe 5-10 minutes, but it's going to take about an hour to get this cleaned up and ready to finish. So that's the medallion. I don't know if you can even see it from there. There you go. And I put that on all my pieces I do, because I don't sign things very well. Actually, it started when I was doing this resin, and it's very hard to sign resin, so I just went to this. That wasn't very straight, was it? Darn it. Alright, what we'll do is I'm going to take a second and then we'll finish this up. Well, after a week's worth of work, and a lot of sanding and polishing of resin, I got these done. This is the one we followed. the emerald one. If you look down below, that's the others. Okay, so I got them all done, which I'm so grateful I finally got them done. But what I want to say is I really want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for following it, the process. Got any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll answer all your questions. Any comments you got at all. But with that, I'd like to say I really appreciate you following me and watching. So with that, God bless. Have a great day.